What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about pricing. Now, I know I made a lot of videos talking about pricing, breaking down custom shirts and acting as a print shop and doing contract printing, and then also pricing for if you're running your own brand. I made a lot of those videos, but I also understand that there's a lot of new people that watch my channel and don't really understand how to price certain things. And I get it. When it comes down to pricing, everybody wants to get paid what they're owed. Nobody wants to undercharge or overcharge and lose the job. These are common concerns that everybody has. So if you just got your vinyl cutter and you just got your heat press and you're like, man, I don't know what to charge a customer because I don't want to seem like I'm charging too high, but I also don't want to undersell myself and then not get paid what the actual item is worth. So if you're stuck in this position, let me break down my pricing strategy. First off, I do not offer any price lists, price guides, pricing calculators, pricing anything. So if that's what you're here to look for, I don't offer any of that. And I'll give you one really good reason why. Everybody's labor is worth something different. Nobody's labor is exactly the same. And I'm talking about the labor to create that t-shirt. A lot of these price lists and price guides and price calculators, pricing whatever it is that's supposed to make pricing way easier, you're going based off of somebody else's labor. So what you're doing is essentially just wanting to get paid what somebody else gets paid. And that's cool. If that's how you want to get by, go for it. But for me, fuck no. I'm not gonna let somebody else tell me what my labor is worth. Nobody else knows the sacrifices I'm making to make these t-shirts. Nobody else can put a value on me taking time away from spending it with my family to actually make these t-shirts. I price that pretty high. I don't know if you do. Maybe t-shirts are worth more than your family. I don't know. But for myself, my family is at the top of the list. And if this is gonna take time away from my family, I'm gonna make sure I'm getting paid for it. So I don't go off of those pricing guides and price lists and all that stuff. I don't offer it to anybody that asks me about pricing. I give everybody the same exact answer, and it's charge for materials, charge for your vinyl, charge for your t-shirt, charge for all the other miscellaneous expenses that comes with making a t-shirt, your shipping and all that stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other stuff rolled into it, but for the sake of the video, we'll talk about just general materials. You buy vinyl for X amount of dollars, you buy a blank t-shirt for X amount of dollars, you charge that customer for those materials. The other piece of the pie is your labor. You charge them for what your labor is worth in creating that t-shirt. Now, the reason why I say everybody's labor is different is because everybody's workflow is different. Let's say a customer comes to me and says, hey, I want this text on a t-shirt. I want it to say pizza lover. I'm like, all right, cool. I jump on my computer, hook up pizza lover with some regular ass text, size it up, send it to the cutter, load up my vinyl, cut it out, weed it out, press it on the shirt, boom, send it off to the customer, right? Let's say that whole process only took me 10 minutes, right? As I was talking to the customer, I kind of knew what text I was gonna use, what fonts I was gonna use. I knew how I was gonna lay the shirt out, threw it into the computer, spit it out of the cutter, pressed it down, gave them the shirt, boom, 10 minutes out the door. Now let's say those 10 minutes, I just charge, I don't know, $6 for that t-shirt, right? This is just spitballing ideas, right? Took me 10 minutes. I said, hey, you know what? I'll charge you $6 for labor. I'll charge you, $4 for the blank t-shirt. And let's say like $3 worth of vinyl. I don't know. So what does that come out to, like 13, 14 bucks, whatever it is? Boom. Now let's say that same customer went to you. They wanted the same pizza lover on a t-shirt. You buy your blank t-shirts from the same place I buy mine. You buy your vinyl from the same place I buy my vinyl. The only difference is labor. Let's say it takes you 2 hours to create that t-shirt. Why does it take you 2 hours? Maybe you're looking for the right font. Maybe you don't have every font that you want in your computer, so now you're cruising around font sites. This is labor for the job, right? Because you're taking time to create this design. Let's say you run into a few issues loading up the vinyl. You know what I mean? Waste a little bit of vinyl, but so be it. Let's say it takes you a little bit longer to weed all that up. So now you're into this job for about 2 hours, right? And I told you, going off of my pricing guide, pricing list for that job, you should only charge $6, but it took you 2 hours to create that shirt. You now got paid $3 an hour for creating a t-shirt. I now undervalued your own labor. And you going based off of me because you're like, hey, you know what? He makes shirts, so I'm gonna go based off of his pricing guide and his price list and whatever it is. I now undervalued your labor. To me, that's fucked up because those 2 hours could have been spent with your family. You could probably get paid way more at your day job for those 2 hours than the time you spent creating this t-shirt for $3 an hour. But like I said, it took me 10 minutes to do. It takes you 2 hours to do. And I'm not saying, this is just as an example. I'm not saying this is how I work. This isn't how things work. This isn't how I price stuff. But if you're going based off of those price guides and all that stuff, that's basically what they're saying is your time is worth this, so this is what you charge. Nah, fuck that. Who's gonna tell me what my time is worth? You know what I mean? We got into this business to be our own boss, not to work for somebody else, not for somebody else to value my own labor. Fuck all that. I'll set the value to my own labor. You know what I mean? The way I do this is how much money is being left on the table for me to take on another job, right? I know what other things can pay me. So for yourself, if you have a day job and your day job pays you, let's say $20 an hour, your labor is valued at $20 an hour. This is what your employer says your time and your labor is worth to me is $20 an hour. That should be your base already, right? That's where you're going to work every single day. Your 9 to 5 is paying you that much. That's what your labor is worth to the world. That's where you should start. Your labor is worth $20 an hour. When it comes to making t-shirts for your own business, base it around that, because when you're at your job, you're 9 to 5 and you're working 8 hours, you're getting paid $20 an hour to work 8 hours. That's 8 hours away from your family. That's 8 hours away from your own personal business. That's 8 hours away from your day, period. But you know that you're getting paid $20 an hour to be there for those 8 hours. That's how you're choosing to spend your time. That's how you're choosing to spend your day. That's what you need to survive. Somebody valued your labor at that, 20 bucks, right? This is just an example. So why should you take a pay cut for your labor? Some people might feel they might be valued more. They might be worth $50 an hour. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what your time is worth to you. But this is how I judge my labor and how I set my pricing. Is based on, if this job's gonna take me an hour to do, I know that I could be designing or I could be doing something else for that same hour and I'd be making X amount of dollars. So I'm gonna make sure that the customer pays for my labor. If I know I could be making X amount of dollars over here, I'm gonna be making sure that the customer pays X amount of dollars for my time. That's how I personally base my labor. And if I lose the customer because they feel it's too expensive, so be it. I'm gonna go off and go do something else to make that money anyways. That's how you should be looking at it also for yourself and your own business. Not lowering your value just to get the customer, because now when you lower your value and your customer pays that price, now your customer's locked in at that price. So if you lowered the price for the customer, now if that customer returns, they're gonna be expecting that price. Now, if you're like, hey, that was a one-time thing, I was just trying to hook you up, blah, 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 my real price is this. Now they have the option to say, oh shit, like that's too expensive now. I don't wanna do that. I might as well knock that out from the very beginning. This is my price. This is what my time is worth. This is what my services are worth. Take it or leave it. Sometimes they take it, sometimes they leave it. But at the end of the day, I don't let the customer dictate what my labor is worth. They're not setting the price because they don't run this business. I run this business, so I set the price. Now that common fear for everybody is losing out on the customer, right? Losing the business because your prices are too high. That's where you have to value your services. What you're offering to the customer. You're selling your services to the customer. It's not the fucking t-shirt. It's your services that you're selling to the customer. So if the customer doesn't agree with your services, why would you want that client anyways? I know this video does not answer everybody's question of what should I charge for a custom shirt? What should I charge for my shirts? Everybody always wants some sort of hard, concrete number on what they should be charging. The answer that you get from me is I do not know what your labor is worth, and I personally do not know what you're sacrificing to make these t-shirts. Like I said, everybody's labor is different. Everybody's sacrifices are different. Put a price on your labor, but do not let somebody else tell you what your labor is worth, or let them set the value for your sacrifices. So hopefully this video helps somebody out there. If you got any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. Do not DM me because I get a lot of DMs and it's hard for me to filter through all of those. If you want a quicker response, leave it in the comments or leave it in the comments on Instagram, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.